Who would have thought that this pitiful and adorable cute girl in front of us is actually a beast worse than a brute? To test if the tap water after the apocalypse is contaminated, she secretly took her savior to conduct an experiment. Every time food is distributed, she always hides a portion beforehand. Then, in front of the honest and simple pillars, she would pretend to be almost starving, and then deceive him out of his portion. Even more despicable is that she stirs up trouble between Chen and Pillar Su, always praising one and denigrating the other behind their backs. In the previous life, these two brothers can be said to have been played in the palm of her hand. Now in his reincarnation, Chen even has the heart to strangle her. But he knows very well that it's not yet time to strike. If he kills her now, it will definitely make Pillars have an opinion of him. So he must make Pillars see the true face of this woman no matter what. Later, Chen suggested going back to his own house to rest first. Then, they can discuss the next course of action. Seeing the situation, Green Tea's sister hurried forward to strike up a conversation, saying, "Hello, Brother Chen. My name is Silly Chen. We both have the surname Chen. Maybe 500 years ago, we were from the same family." Facing her proactive friendliness, Chen did not pay attention. Instead, he directly dragged Pillars away. Although at this moment, Silly Chen was gritting his teeth in anger. But in order to survive, she still obediently followed along. After arriving at Chen's house, Pillars and Silly Chen's stomachs were growling loudly from hunger. Seeing this, Chen hastily said, "Please have a seat first. I will go get some food for you." Shortly after, Chen took out some slices of bread from ability space. Looking at Thunder King Chen beside him, an evil thought suddenly arose in his heart. "I'll make you pay for messing with my brother in your past life. Let's see how I'll deal with you today." After saying that, Chen took a piece of toast and vigorously rubbed it on Thunder King's butt. Then he handed the seasoned toast to Silly Chen, saying that it was the only food left at home because men have bigger appetites. He asked if Pillars would mind if he split it into 2 pieces. Although she said it was reasonable, she was complaining in her heart that she had also been hungry for 3 days. Why should he have an extra piece? She then indulged in the extra topping toast with great relish. This left Thunder King standing beside her in shock. It thought to itself, "This girl is truly something. She can even enjoy eating bread that has touched my butt." Chen, who saw this scene, also showed a sly smile. Although playing a prank on her can indeed relieve anger, the nuisance still needs to be dealt with as soon as possible. So Chen suggested that we go to the supermarket first to get some food before figuring out how to leave here. Upon hearing this, Pillars quickly expressed that Brother Chen's plan is thoughtful. "Just tell me what needs to be done," he added. At this point, Chen spoke in a deep voice, saying, "Due to the large number of zombies outside, we can only use strategy instead of brute force. How about this? Silly Chen, you lead the zombies away while Pillars and I go into the supermarket to get food." As soon as this was said, Silly Chen immediately stood still. He shouted, "Brother Chen, don't do this. How can I outrun the zombies? This is sending me to my death." Upon hearing this, Chen immediately said, "Then I will go divert the zombies while you and Pillars go to the supermarket to get food. Is that okay?" Silly Chen immediately put on a pitiful look upon hearing this. "I've only eaten a piece of toast in 3 days. I really have no strength left. Pillars, could you help me out and say something for me?" At this moment, Chen coldly said, "You can't just sit back and reap the benefits without doing anything. Also, I haven't had a sip of water all day. I don't even know if the tap water has been contaminated by viruses. In that case, why don't you help us try this water to see if it's safe to drink?" Silly Chen immediately became unhappy after hearing this, thinking they were trying to make a fool out of him. He muttered that they didn't even have a door. "I'm just worried that the water source is contaminated. That's why I've been holding back from drinking water. Even though I still have water and food in my bag, I absolutely cannot let them know." Then she continued pitifully, "Brother Chen, please don't make things difficult for me. What if this water is poisonous? Don't you have a dog? Just let it try, then you'll know. However, it was her own presumptuous cleverness that thoroughly angered the Thunder and Lightning King. The woman, who had been thirsty for 6 days, heard someone tell her to drink water. However, she showed a fearful expression on her face. He also stated that even if he were to die of thirst, he would never drink a drop of water. After the outbreak of the Doomsday, it turned out that the water sources had been contaminated by a virus. Letting her drink tap water is no different from sending her to her death. Then she had a bright idea. Pointing at a passing Thunder King, she shouted, "Just take this stray dog for experiments, isn't that enough?" Thunder King was immediately furious upon hearing this. It immediately bared its teeth and pounced towards Silly Chen. Upon seeing this, the girl quickly held her bag in front of her. Just a rip sound. The bag was torn open by Thunder King. Then the food inside fell out accordingly. Chen wasn't polite to her either. He just picked up a bottle of drink and drank it heartily. He casually handed a piece of bread to Pillars, saying, "I didn't expect this woman to have so much food hidden. Let's not be polite with her. Hurry up and eat. We need to be full before we have the energy to go to the supermarket to get supplies." At this moment, Pillars finally saw through the true face of this woman. He silently lamented that he had risked his life several times to save her. She hid so much food from me and didn't let me eat it. It's fine if she doesn't share, but she even deceived me to eat and drink from my hand every time. Thinking of these Pillars just makes him burn with anger. Then he unhesitatingly took the bread and started showing off. And at this moment, Silly Chen still wants to rush over to stop Pillars. But unexpectedly, she was tripped by Chen. She fell to the ground with a thud. Then she started crying, causing a scene and threatening suicide. "Who allowed you to eat my food? Spit it all out for me." At this moment, Chen coldly said, "Why are you crying? If we don't eat enough, how can we have the energy to search for supplies? Rest assured, we won't eat your food for nothing. We'll repay you tenfold when we come back from the supermarket." As soon as these words were spoken, Silly Chen immediately changed his tune, saying that he didn't actually not want to share the food with them. It's just that he forgot it was in his bag. Chen also felt speechless after hearing this, and thought to himself that this woman can really act. "If that's the case, then I will give you another dose of strong medicine. I must make my foolish brother realize the treacherous nature of human hearts." Chen then patted Pillars on the shoulder and said, "I'll go prepare first. Let's set off in half an hour." Afterward, Chen took Thunder King to the room and instructed it to lure some zombies to the house. He then took out a few pieces of garlic and squeezed them into juice. At that moment, the entire room was filled with a pungent smell of garlic. At this moment, Chen walked out carrying 2 bowls of garlic sauce and said, "Pillars, come and see what goodies I prepared for you." Don't be fooled by the pungent smell of this thing. It's a weapon against zombies. I saw someone wearing a string of garlic around their neck outside, and the zombies really wouldn't come near them. But now there's only enough garlic juice for 2 people. Pillars, let's sprinkle the garlic juice on ourselves before we go out. Silly Chen, you stay at home and wait for us to come back." Just then, a roar of zombies suddenly came from the doorway. Seeing this, Chen immediately poured the garlic juice on himself and urged Pillars to quickly finish the remaining bowl. The zombies are about to break in. But at this moment, this silly boy fell into contemplation. Although he now felt extremely disgusted with this woman, he still couldn't bear to watch her being bitten to death by the zombies. Little did he know, at this moment Silly Chen was staring straight at that bowl of garlic juice. Pillars was about to pick up the garlic juice and bring it over to her. However, he didn't expect that she would beat him to it. She picked up the garlic juice without hesitation and poured it over herself. Pillars, who saw this scene, was stunned on the spot. "I was originally going to serve you. You actually came over and snatched it." At this moment, Chen solemnly said with emphasis, "See, brother? This is human nature." Therefore, it is said that Apocalypse must never have an overly compassionate heart, Because no matter how kind you are to some people, all you receive in return is betrayal time and time again. And you vile person. Do you think that splashing garlic juice on yourself will solve everything? I forgot to tell you. Actually, zombies are extremely sensitive to the smell of garlic. You're doomed today. It is well known that garlic can ward off evil spirits, but it has no effect on zombies. On the contrary, this pungent smell can attract zombie attacks. But this woman didn't even think about it. She poured a whole bowl of garlic juice over her head. It turns out it was just a moment ago. When the zombies were about to break into the villa, Chen set up a trap to expose the ugly face of this woman. He tricked her into believing that zombies are most afraid of garlic. There was only enough garlic at home for 2 people to use. When Chen heard this, he immediately grabbed the garlic from Pillars and poured it over his own head. This action also made Pillars see her true colors completely. Seeing that his goal had been achieved, Chen told the woman the truth. Upon learning that he had been deceived, Chen immediately shouted, "Is it wrong for me to want to live?" At this moment, Chen coldly said, "Who doesn't want to live? But you shouldn't have underestimated my brother's honesty. Feel free to bully him as you please." After saying that, Chen took out a set of equipment for Pillars from Ability Space. Asked him to quickly go to the room and put this on. The zombies will be entering soon. Upon seeing this, Chen immediately begged for Chen's forgiveness this time. "In the future, I will listen to everything you say. You can do whatever you want to me." Upon hearing this, Chen immediately said, "I want you to go die." "Will you do it as I've said?" This was his response. Chen immediately became furious and said, "Are you crazy? How did I offend you?" At this moment, zombies sniffed the smell and barged into the living room. She didn't wait for her to finish speaking. 5 or 6 zombies immediately rushed towards her to bite her, while Chen stood by, watching coldly from the sidelines. He watched as the woman was completely chilled. He only took action to eliminate all the zombies. Then he called the Pillars to help clean up the scene. "Throw all these zombies out of the villa." Chen called Thunder King again. He actually assigned the task of cleaning up the blood in the living room to a dog, and warned it that it will only get food after finishing the job. After saying that, Chen called Pillars to prepare to wash up and have a meal. But Pillars insisted that we were supposed to go to the supermarket to get food. Otherwise, where would the food come from? However, before Pillars could finish speaking, a table full of delicious food appeared in front of him out of nowhere. Then Chen began to talk nonsense in a serious manner. He explained that he had awakened his spatial ability before the doomsday outbreak, because he always had an unclear premonition. So he stored a little bit of supplies in the ability space in advance. And these foods are the ones I took out from the ability space. Have you recently felt any changes in your body, Pillars? Upon hearing this, he immediately stated that he suddenly felt a splitting headache last night. After that, he felt much stronger than before. Chen told him that this was a sign of ability awakening. What you awakened is an ability of the strength class. Let's not talk about these things for now. There's a big world out there, and eating is the most important. Seeing the situation, Pillars quickly said, "Brother Chen, you're too polite, and brought out so many delicious dishes to treat me. Let's eat sparingly." But Chen said that we are all like brothers here. There's no need to be polite with me. Isn't there still food that Thunder King hasn't eaten? Let's wait for him to finish his work and invite him to eat together later. Upon hearing this, Thunder King, who was busy mopping the floor, was moved to tears. He never expected the owner to be so kind to him. Is mopping the floor really something that a dog should be doing? After having his fill of food and drink, Chen took out several pieces of crystal and handed them to Pillars so that he could absorb the energy within to enhance his own strength, and reminded him to stop immediately if he felt that his body couldn't handle it. Chen then returned to his room to absorb the crystals, to his surprise. In the past life, absorbing 8 pieces already overwhelmed his body. But this time, he absorbed 20 pieces in a row without reaching the limit. I wonder where his absorption limit will be this time. How awesome is this man really? Not only can the local dogs he raises be compared to the mythical creature Pikachu, he can instantly turn whole hordes of zombies into charcoal. He also awakened an extremely rare spatial ability. Not only does he possess the strongest teleportation skill Void Step, he can also summon the Void Sword, which inflicts explosive damage. Unfortunately, his current level is still too low to sustain summoning the Void Sword for extended battles. Just when he became a real man for only 3 seconds, he was so tired that he collapsed on the bed. You should know that this skill was only mastered at level 7 in his previous life. And in this life, he was able to barely condense the Void Sword briefly right after reaching level 2. If things continue to develop this way, perhaps in this life he can easily master Void Step at level 4, a skill he only possessed at level 9 in his previous life. Furthermore, he might even be able to advance and develop the ultimate move, Dimensional Blade, after reaching King level. The next morning, Pillars couldn't wait to tell Luke Chen some good news. Brother Chen, the method you taught me is really effective. After absorbing 7 pieces of crystal, my power has increased significantly. The Thunder King beside him also excitedly shouted 9 times at him, indicating that it had also absorbed 9 pieces of crystal. This stunned the Pillars. They quickly expressed, "Is this dog really this strong? It actually absorbed more than me." Luke Chen did not respond to this question. Instead, he took out a set of equipment from the ability space and handed it to him. He said he would change into this after finishing breakfast. Let's go to the granary together to get some supplies. Later, they arrived at the parking lot in the community. They saw that the heavy truck was surrounded by zombies. Pillars immediately pulled out his stun gun ready to take action. However, he was stopped in time by Luke Chen, who suggested leaving this minor matter to Thunder King to handle. Immediately, Thunder King swiftly went on to do what it does best. Pillars couldn't help but marvel at Thunder King's proficient technique in drawing monsters. It seemed like their own abilities were truly no match for this dog. Upon seeing this, Luke Chen hastily comforted, "Let's not compare ourselves with dogs. There are many things they can do that we can't. Each has its own strengths." They then drove to the granary. But strangely, the granary was unusually quiet. Not even a single zombie could be seen. But they did find a skeleton not far away. This made Luke Chen feel uneasy. Although zombies may bite humans, they absolutely do not eat people. The only creatures that can bite people so cleanly are mutated beings, such as rats or ants. And they are all social animals. So no matter which kind, their numbers will definitely not be small. Thinking of this, Luke Chen hurriedly signaled Pillars to retreat immediately. But it was already too late. After a cacophony of squeaks, a large group of mutated rats appeared in front of them in a dark and oppressive manner. At this critical moment, Thunder King stepped forward again. It is said that the dog is overly concerned with catching mice, but it still resolutely led away the group of rats. Unexpectedly, among the group of rats, there was actually one that had become a Rat King. With the Rat King's command, all the rats immediately turned their guns and launched a fierce attack on Luke Chen and his companion. Although the electric baton was no pressure to deal with these low-level mutant rats, but they could not withstand the overwhelming number of rats on the other side. After a fierce battle of car wheels, Luke Chen and Pillars also began to show signs of fatigue. Soon, Pillars collapsed to the ground due to exhaustion. Seeing this, the Rat King immediately seized the opportunity. He shot towards him at a speed of 200 yards. Fortunately, Pillars reacted swiftly to block the Rat King's deadly attack. However, what he never expected was that this guy was actually immune to electric shocks. The high-voltage baton had no effect on it at all. Before he could figure out the situation, the Rat King had already mysteriously appeared in front of him. Immediately after that, this guy opened his blood-mouthed small mouth, bit directly on Pillars' neck. This rat eats 5 cats every day. When it's starving, it doesn't even spare human beings. Anyone targeted by it will meet an extremely tragic end. It turns out this is a mutated giant Fong Rat King. Its strength is comparable to a level 3 ability user. But unexpectedly, Chen and the others just entered the granary. They were immediately under attack by this group of mutated rats. However, just as they were resisting the onslaught of the rat army, the mutated Rat King suddenly launched a sneak attack on Pillars. By the time he reacted, the Rat King had already bitten him on the neck. Thanks to the alloy armor protecting his body, Pillars narrowly managed to save his life. Chen, who witnessed this scene, was greatly shocked. If this were to happen again, the armor would definitely be bitten through by this guy. So Chen immediately took out 2 pieces of steak and threw them towards the group of mice. Under the temptation of the food, the group of mice immediately swarmed towards the beef. But just then, the Rat King opened its bloodthirsty mouth again and bit towards Pillars. Upon seeing this, Chen swiftly condensed the Void Sword and charged towards the Rat King. At this moment, it also felt a cold killing intent from behind. Before it could escape, Chen suddenly cut it in half with a sword. The leaderless group of rats was quickly dealt with by the 2 using electric batons. Next, Chen took out a level 3 crystal from the Rat King's body. And this guy's big front teeth are also rare treasures. They are excellent materials for making weapons. Unfortunately, Chen tried to pull them out for a long time but failed. So he immediately called Pillars for help. In the blink of an eye, Pillars pulled out the 2 big front teeth from the Rat King's mouth. Chen then opened the ability space and started to crazily absorb the supplies in the granary. This astonished the nearby Pillars. They quickly asked Brother Chen how big his ability space really is. But Chen casually replied, "Not that big. Probably just as big as the Pacific Ocean. Also, Pillars must keep this secret for me. Otherwise, we will become a target of public criticism." Upon hearing this, Pillars quickly reassured, "Rest assured, Brother Chen, even if a knife is at my throat, I will not reveal a single word." Despite this trip, Chen and his team have made quite a harvest. They managed to secure tens of thousands of tons of food in one go. But through this battle, he also deeply realized the importance of strength. If he hadn't been able to briefly condense the Void Sword just now, I'm afraid we wouldn't have made it back from this trip today. So, after returning home, he immediately formulated a training plan. And he stated that he would not go out before becoming a level 3 ability user. In the following days, he absorbed crystals day and night to enhance his strength. With his unremitting efforts, Chen finally successfully advanced to become a level 3 ability user after 3 days. This also allowed him to extend the time of condensing the Void Sword to 20 seconds in one go. And the levels of Pillars and Thunder King have also successfully broken through to level 2. Although in the past few days, everyone's strength has made rapid progress. But the kitchen has been messed up by these big men. This inevitably reminded Chen of his chef Jade Ma. He secretly thought that if she could take care of my daily life, it would be great. This girl is not only beautiful, but also very efficient in her work. And her cooking skills are truly exceptional. Just wonder how she is doing now. I remember she was working as a chef at a nearby 6-star hotel. She should have been working at the hotel when the doomsday broke out. Thinking of this, Chen immediately suggested going to that hotel to find out more. Shortly after, the group set out on the road to find Jade Ma. However, after a search, they did manage to kill quite a number of zombies. But still, they did not see a single living person. He didn't even have the chance to find someone to ask questions. But just at that moment, a waiter suddenly appeared in their view and shouted, "Two dads, please help me!" As is well known, in the apocalypse, mercy is a death sentence. But this woman does not believe in superstition. Not only did her excessive compassion save a group of elites, she also kindly shared her own food with everyone. But who knew these animals turned on her faster than flipping a book? Not only did they not appreciate her life-saving kindness, she also complained that Jade Ma took up too much space and started a physical fight with her. Jade Ma dared to resist. The female celebrity who started the fight became even more fierce. She even instigated everyone to throw Jade out to feed the zombies, so that there would be one less person to share food with us. What Jade Ma never expected was that the group of people she just saved. No one stood up to help her, let alone all colluding with this heartless female celebrity. No matter how she begged. These scumbags heartlessly pushed her out of the room. At this moment, Jade Ma finally saw their ugly faces. She hated herself for being soft-hearted and saving these beasts in the first place. If there is anyone willing to help me vent this anger now, I am willing to pay any price. Just at this moment, 2 zombies suddenly rushed towards her, baring their teeth and claws. Seeing this scene, Jade Ma also completely gave up resistance. She closed her eyes in despair. Just at this critical moment, Chen appeared just in time, kicked the zombie away, and saved her. At this moment, Chen excitedly exclaimed, "Little chef, you are fine. That's really great. I came all the way risking my life just to rescue you. Don't be afraid. I'll take you away from here right away." Jade Ma was instantly moved by these words. A sense of security she had never experienced before surged into her heart in an instant. She was about to say something in response. She was silenced by Chen, who covered her mouth, indicating that she should speak later, because a large number of zombies have already surrounded them at this moment. Upon seeing this, the two immediately engaged in combat with the zombies. In no time at all, they swiftly and cleanly took care of all the zombies. And this scene was also witnessed by the group of people in the room. Seeing the two of them being so powerful, the female star immediately walked out of the room. Shamelessly, she said, "I'm sure both of you are my fans, right? Thank you for risking your lives to save me. Love you guys." But Chen ignored her, and instead helped up Jade Ma, who was behind him. At this moment, Chen also noticed her. Jade Ma was emotionally moved upon seeing these people. Tears kept flowing uncontrollably. Surely she must have suffered some grievances. Upon that, Chen quickly asked her what had just happened. "Tell me, and I will help you sort it out." As soon as he said that, Jade Ma could no longer suppress her inner emotions and started crying loudly. Then she directly told Chen in detail what had just happened. At this moment, a man in a suit grinned and said, "Little brother, this woman is just unlucky. Don't mind her. As long as you can safely take me home, I'll give you 200,000 now. How's that?" But before he could finish his sentence, Pillars directly slapped him in the face. "Money doesn't make you impressive. What I hate most in my life is people like you who repay kindness with enmity." The man who was slapped in the face still wouldn't stop talking. "It was indeed our fault just now. You helped your friend release some anger. Can you consider my previous proposal?" Chen did not respond. Instead, he smiled and said, "Originally, for how you treated my friend today, I should have taken you down on the spot. But I'm in a good mood today, so I'll spare your lives this time. I will tie you all up later. Whether you can survive or not will depend on your luck." Upon hearing this, the man in the suit immediately became furious and said, "What's the difference between tying us up and killing us?" Pillars immediately responded, "When you threw out Jade Ma, what's the difference between that and killing her?" The words scared the female celebrity so much that she knelt down on the spot, begging Chen to spare her this time. "You can ask me to do anything. I can play hide and seek with you right now." But before she could finish her sentence, Chen directly used a sock that had been worn for 2.5 years to plug her stinky mouth. Then he had Pillars tie her up tightly with her hands and feet bound. Afterwards, the group swaggered out of the hotel. After recruiting Jade Ma, Chen also prepared to start establishing his own power. But before that, he must quickly recruit Fire Princess and Purple Me, the two sisters, to his side. The man only used a cheap roast duck. Just let a female tycoon worth billions become his maid. In this food-scarce apocalypse, cheese is even worse than waste paper. only food is real currency. Some people would even trade their own bodies for a bite of steamed bread. On the contrary, Chen is exactly the opposite. Although he hoards enough food to last 10 lifetimes, he doesn't know how to cook. So Chen risked his life to rescue the chef Jade Ma from a hotel full of zombies. His actions completely moved her. Upon seeing the situation, Chen took the opportunity to extend an olive branch to Jade Ma. He said, "I am currently lacking a logistics assistant, mainly responsible for taking care of our daily life. As part of the exchange, not only will I be responsible for ensuring your personal safety, but I will also provide you with 3 meals a day. Are you willing to join us?" As soon as the words were spoken, Jade Ma couldn't wait to say, "I'm willing." And this decision completely changed her destiny. After returning home, Chen asked Jade Ma if she had felt any changes in her body recently. Did she awaken any special abilities? Upon hearing this, Jade Ma immediately mentioned that her head suddenly hurt yesterday. Then, she felt a sudden wave of heat spreading throughout her body. As for gaining abilities, I'm not too sure about that. Chen told her that this is a sign of awakening an ability. I will now teach you how to control the ability. Subsequently, Jade Ma followed Chen's method and condensed a ball of flame in the palm of her hand. Chen was delighted by this. He secretly thought that this time he had struck gold. I didn't expect her to be an ability user in flame class. It is said that dishes cooked with ability flames will be even more delicious. So Chen couldn't wait to take out the ingredients and ask her to show off her skills. In no time, Jade Ma used her flame class ability to prepare a table full of delicious food. Seeing this, the 2 people and a dog immediately started to enjoy the feast enthusiastically. Everyone felt extremely satisfied after this meal. They all praised Jade Ma's cooking skills as absolutely amazing. After a satisfying meal, Chen arranged a room for Jade Ma to stay and said, "If you need anything, just let me know. From now on, we are one family." In the following days, Chen absorbed crystal every day to enhance his own strength. After he absorbed all the crystals, he was just 1 step away from breaking through level 4 at this moment. So Chen decided to go out first to collect some crystals. Then he plans to also visit the 2 sisters, Purple Me and Fire Princess, along the way. It is now the 10th day after the outbreak of the Doomsday. If he doesn't extend an olive branch to them soon, someone else may get ahead of him. Shortly after, Chen called for the pillars. Then he handed 2 electric batons to Jade Ma for self-defense and gave her a few brief instructions. Chen walked out of the residential area with pillars and Thunder King. Soon they obtained more than 300 pieces of crystal by hunting down zombies along the way. And at this moment, they have also arrived at the district where the Mi sisters reside. So Chen immediately ordered Thunder King to go to the 2nd floor to check the situation. If he smells the presence of living people in the house, he should bark twice loudly. Before Chen could finish speaking, Thunder King suddenly rushed into the bushes on the side. Then it pulled out a mouse from the flower bed. Chen, a cat lover, couldn't bear to see the cute cat being harmed. He immediately signaled Thunder King not to hurt it. But just then, a cry for help suddenly entered Chen's mind. "Quickly, get your silly dog off me!" Chen, who quickly realized what was happening, immediately understood that this was a cat that had awakened the mental communication ability. Usually, only advanced psychic ability users possess this kind of ability, so it is necessary to harness it for oneself. So Chen immediately rescued the cat from Thunder King's mouth and scolded, "How could you be so rude, Thunder King?" The cat on the side also angrily rebuked Thunder King for being unfair. "I didn't provoke or offend it. Your dog came up and bit me without letting go. It's really despicable." Upon hearing this, Chen immediately echoed, "That's right, that's right. Also, little cat, are you a stray cat? Do you want to come home with me? I have plenty of fish snacks that you can't finish." But before the words were finished, a girl suddenly stood up and shouted, "This is my cat. Give Rice back to me. What will happen when a cat's IQ reaches 130? It will talk, rap, sing, and play basketball. Not only that, it is also an awakened cat with psychic abilities, having the ability to sense danger in advance. Chen is determined to keep it for himself. However, just as he is about to bribe the cat with some dried fish, Purple Me suddenly appeared and snatched the cat away, shouting, "What do you want to do to our family's Rice?" But unexpectedly, Rice struggled and shouted that he was not a bad person. "Let me go!" Immediately after, Rice broke free from the restraints. He ran up to Chen and begged him for a piece of dried fish. "I have been hungry for 3 days." Upon hearing this, Chen had a sudden inspiration. He thought it would be a good opportunity to gain favor with them. If I give it directly, they will definitely think I have ulterior motives. And since they have been here for so long without seeing Fire Princess, it seems she is not at home. Then let's start with her sister, Purple Me. Chen then said that there is a large supermarket outside. How about we cooperate and go there together to get supplies? There must be dried small fish in the supermarket. Rice immediately expressed that the suggestion is very good. I can sense that he has no ill intentions. Purple Me, let's go together. But Purple Me still seems to not fully trust this stranger. At this time, Rice, feeling impatient, said, "In that case, you can just wait for me at home. I'll bring you some food when I come back." Upon hearing this, Purple Me quickly responded, "Who said I'm not going? Just wait for me here. I'll be right back." In no time, Purple Me appeared in front of everyone, wearing a pot on her head and holding a rolling pin. Chen, who saw this scene, almost spat out a mouthful of old blood. It is obvious that this girl has no experience in hunting zombies. Otherwise, she would not have come out to fight zombies dressed like this. Subsequently, the few people introduced themselves to each other. However, just as everyone was preparing to set out to gather supplies, a group of zombies suddenly rushed towards them. Seeing this, 2 big men immediately stood in front of Purple Me to protect her. And Purple Me also quickly applied buff skills to the 2 men. Instantly gave them a 30% increase in strength. Under the influence of the buff, the 2 quickly dealt with most of the zombies as easy as cutting vegetables, but just as the last zombie was about to pounce on Purple Me, Chen quickly shouted, "Step back! Leave it to me to handle." Unexpectedly, this proposal was rejected by Purple Me. She said, "I can't always hide behind my sister. Sooner or later, I have to face it myself." Seeing this, Pillars immediately handed the iron rod in his hand to Purple Me and said, "This is more useful than your rolling pin." After taking the iron rod, Purple Me quickly used her power-enhancing spell on herself. Then she swung backhandedly and hit the zombie on the head with the stick before the zombie could even react. The stick rained down on it in quick succession. Chen on the side was directly stunned by this scene. He exclaimed, "Girl, you're too fierce." Purple Me, who realized what was happening, instantly felt so overwhelmed by her own actions that she began to vomit uncontrollably. Upon seeing this, Chen immediately kindly handed a bottle of water to Purple Me and comforted her, saying, "You did a great job just now. You will get used to it slowly in the future." This move instantly made Purple Me have a good impression of Chen. Then everyone went to the supermarket together, after taking care of the zombies inside. Chen then signaled for Purple Me to choose the food he liked and take as much as he wanted. And Chen, as agreed, found some small dried fish for Rice. This made the little cat very happy. But just then, however, Thunder King suddenly kept barking at Purple Me in the distance. Upon hearing the barking, Purple Me immediately turned around to look behind. At this moment, a giant-sized zombie was slowly approaching Purple Me step by step. The girl tried shopping at the supermarket without cheese for the first time. The result was the outbreak of Doomsday, instantly leading to 80% of the global population mutating into zombies. And at this moment, the girl is still happily choosing her favorite food to eat. she is completely unaware that danger is silently approaching. Fortunately, Thunder King timely let out a cry to remind them. Purple Me only just noticed the zombie that was approaching step by step, which scared her quite a bit. She picked up the shopping bag next to her and fiercely smashed it towards the approaching zombie. Then she got up, dashed away with all her might. But unexpectedly, she crashed into Chen, who was approaching. Looking at the relentlessly chasing zombie Chen behind Purple Me, she instantly broke out in a cold sweat. Because he remembered clearly. This devourer, which only appeared after the mid-stage of the apocalypse, unexpectedly showed up in the early stage of the apocalypse in this life. They not only possess amazing strength and defense, but can also attack enemies through self-detonation. So they must engage in quick and decisive battles. They must not give it the chance to self-detonate. Upon seeing the situation, Chen did not hesitate in the slightest. He immediately condensed the void sword with a backhand. At this moment, Thunder King took advantage of the opportunity and delivered a series of 5 lightning strikes. Although Teacher Ma's technique didn't inflict high damage, it was extremely insulting. This instantly drew the zombie's hatred. Just as Devourer was about to turn and attack Thunder King, Chen immediately made a stylish move and appeared behind it, before Devourer could react. Chen cleanly and neatly chopped it in half with a single sword strike. Then he used his body to shield Purple Me from this bloody scene. And this move completely captured Purple Me's heart. Looking at the strong, handsome, and gentlemanly man in front of her, Purple Me's heart felt like a little rabbit had appeared, jumping non-stop. At this moment, Chen touched her head and said, "Purple Me, how about we build a team together? This way, I can protect you better in the future." Upon hearing this, Purple Me also blushed and nodded shyly. Chen was delighted to hear this. So he quickly invited Purple Me and Rice to his house as guests. "We must have a good meal to celebrate today." However, Purple Me said she would rather go home and wait for her sister. If she comes back and doesn't see me, she will definitely worry. Let's do it next time. Rice listened and quickly asked Purple Me why she refused Chen's invitation. "Didn't you leave a note for Fire Princess at home? And I have a feeling that your sister won't be coming home today. Let's go to Chen's house together for a big meal." After some persuasion from Chen and Rice. Later, everyone arrived at Chen's villa together. In no time, Jade Ma prepared a table full of delicious food for everyone. At Chen's warm invitation, everyone, including the cat, immediately started to eat heartily. Jade Ma's culinary skills completely captured their taste buds. While eating, they couldn't help but repeatedly exclaim, "This is so delicious!" After eating and drinking their fill, Purple Me quickly expressed gratitude to Chen. "However, it's time for me to go back too. I don't want my sister to worry about me." Upon hearing this, Chen immediately said, "I can't let you go back alone. Actually, it doesn't matter where we stay. How about a few of us also move to your neighborhood to live? This way, we can all take care of each other." Purple Me immediately said that's a happy decision then. Chen then asked everyone to quickly pack up their luggage. "Let's get ready to move." And then everyone drove to Purple Me's residential area. But just as Chen and the others were preparing to look for a house nearby to live in, Purple Me suddenly stopped them and said, "My house is over 200 square meters. If you don't mind, you can move in with us." As soon as these words were spoken, Chen agreed without hesitation. This is indeed a great opportunity that must be seized. When Fire Princess comes back, it will also be a good time to recruit her. After returning home, Purple Me immediately started assigning rooms for everyone. Jade Ma and Pillars were both arranged to stay in the guest rooms. And Chen was arranged to stay in his sister Fire Princess's room. However, what Chen did not expect was that when he pushed the door open, what came into view was Rice lying on the bed in a playful manner. She was murmuring, "Damn it! Why did you take so long to come?" This is a cat that is even smarter than Einstein. Not only can it speak human language, but it can also sing, dance, rap, and play basketball. It can even effortlessly execute the Mei Ji from the 36 stratagems. I saw Luke Chen enter the room. It immediately coquettishly approached him and said, "You little devil." Then she started acting cute and lovely in front of Luke Chen, saying that she would sleep with him in the future. From today on, I won't sleep with Purple Me anymore. Upon hearing this, Luke Chen quickly said, "You are such a fickle cat. You forget about the old owner once you have a new one. But it's not bedtime yet. Brother will practice with you." After saying this, Luke Chen took out some crystals from the Spatial and gave them to Rice, explaining how to absorb them. And at this moment, on the other side, Fire Princess is hurrying back with the food she found after many hardships. 2 male classmates from the same class are accompanying her. They are not of much help though. When they spotted the zombie, they immediately pushed the Fire Princess to the front. Then 2 big men avoided her from afar. This made her feel extremely speechless. Therefore, Fire Princess was also exhausted along the way. But luckily, at this moment, they had already arrived at the entrance of the residential area. At the same time, Luke Chen and they were discussing what to eat tonight. Just as Luke Chen was asking Jade Ma if she could barbecue, downstairs suddenly came a familiar voice. "Purple Me, are you home? Quickly come and see what delicious food your sister brought back for you." This made Purple Me very happy. She quickly got up and ran downstairs. Then she dived straight into the arms of her older sister, Fire Princess. Of course, not only Purple Me was happy. Luke Chen was also eagerly anticipating. Finally, he managed to bring back this Blood Rose Fire Princess. However, just as he was going downstairs, Luke Chen noticed the small entourage behind the Fire Princess. At this moment, the 2 of them were still whispering to each other, marveling at the fact that she was indeed the school flower's younger sister. Her looks are on par with, if not surpassing, those of her sister, the Fire Princess. We must win over this pair of sisters. Who is that guy? I've never heard Fire Princess mention having a brother before. Seeing this, Fire Princess quickly asked her sister who he was. Purple Me immediately introduced Luke Chen to Fire Princess. "Sister, this is Luke Chen, my big brother. During the time you were absent, thanks to Luke Chen taking care of me. If it wasn't for him, Rice and I would have starved to death long ago." But just then, 2 little followers suddenly warmly brought snacks to Purple Me, thinking that Fire Princess always ignores us anyway. Why don't we start with her sister first? Upon seeing this, Purple Me quickly expressed that she was not hungry. "You 2 should keep the snacks for yourselves." However, these 2 followers continued to pester Purple Me tirelessly. Offering help without reason is either a plot or a theft. They demonstrated it perfectly on themselves. Fire Princess, who witnessed the scene, was speechless for a while. She secretly regretted teaming up with these 2 idiots back then. They slowed her down on the road, and now they are causing trouble for her sister. She must quickly get rid of these 2 burdens. Shortly after, these 2 idiots followed everyone upstairs eagerly. Upon seeing this, Luke Chen quickly asked Jade Ma if there was any more rice at home. "Let's cook a bit more today. Just be sure not to waste water when washing the rice." Upon hearing this, Jade Ma was momentarily stunned. "Didn't we agree to have a barbecue just now? Why are we cooking rice again? Besides, don't we always wash the rice before cooking it anyway?" But when Jade Ma turned back to see the situation, she immediately understood what Luke Chen meant. But unexpectedly, these 2 people did not consider themselves outsiders at all. They went straight into the kitchen as soon as they entered the door. They watched as Jade Ma cooked with mineral water. Without saying a word, the 2 of them quickly grabbed the bottled water when they arrived. Then, they immediately started drinking straight from the bottle. Jade Ma was quite upset about this. She quickly shouted, "Can't you pour it into a glass to drink? How will others drink like this?" When these words were spoken, not only did the 2 fail to restrain themselves, but they also criticized Jade Ma for overreacting. "What's wrong with having a few sips of water from your cup? We are not sick. Do you know how many hardships we have encountered along the way? Then the two turned their gazes to Thunder King standing next to them. Then shouted, Fire Princess, your home surprisingly still has dogs that haven't been infected. Why don't we have a dog meat hot pot today to nourish our bodies? And these words completely angered Chen, who muttered that these two people were selfish and self-serving. They even dared to have designs on my family's Thunder King. It seems that these two troublemakers cannot be left alive. You absolutely can't imagine the Earth dog in front of you who doesn't look very smart. It turns out that it is a powerful ability user. In this food-scarce apocalypse, there are not too many desperados who want to eat its dog meat. But their fate is without exception. They all died miserably under the Thunder King's 5 consecutive lightning strikes. Even so, there are still people who dare to have evil intentions towards the Thunder King. And they are still standing on the moral high ground, righteously accusing little brother Chen. Isn't that what it means, right? You don't even see what kind of world it is outside now. People are starving. How can you waste food to feed dogs? Listen to me and slaughter this dog to feed everyone. This made Thunder King furious. He immediately started barking wildly at the two of them, showing his teeth. But the two fools who saw this scene became even more excited. They quickly shouted, Look at how fierce this dog is! Who will be responsible if it harms Fire Princess and Purple Me? We must stew this beast today. And this remark completely angered Chen, who immediately retorted, What's it to you? I feed my dog with my own food. Does that concern you? Do you live by the sea? Upon hearing this, the man immediately became furious and said, Fire Princess, quickly listen to what this kid is saying. Is it even understandable language? We don't eat alone. Is there anything wrong with improving the food for everyone? We have suffered a lot on the way escorting you back, haven't we? What's wrong with us having a bite of dog meat? But we didn't even wait for him to finish his sentence. Fire Princess suddenly shouted, Shut up! Don't think I don't know. I know your dirty intentions of following me. Don't you have any idea who is escorting whom along the way? When we encounter danger, you two just keep pushing me forward. You guys really aren't men. Let's end our cooperation here. Turn right when you leave, and have a safe journey. This is final. They immediately became angry and ashamed, saying, You, Fire Princess, didn't expect you to be this kind of person. We help you find your sister, and you repay us with betrayal, huh? I've noted this down. What goes around comes around. After saying this, the two of them left the room in anger. But Chen had no intention of letting these two fools off. How dare they speak arrogantly in front of me? People like them, who may pose a threat to oneself in the future, Chen will definitely not allow them to remain at large. Then he immediately gave Thunder King a signal with his eyes, indicating that the next matter would be left for you to handle. The next second, Thunder King understood and chased after him without hesitation. And at this moment, those two guys were still murmuring about how to retaliate against Chen and the others. Little did they know that their lives had come to an end at this moment. At that moment, Thunder King suddenly roared and stopped the two people. The two rogues who saw this scene were overjoyed. They laughed heartily, thinking this stupid dog actually delivered himself to their doorstep. We are in for a treat today. But before they could finish their words, Thunder King immediately struck with a set of lightning 5-whip method in a backhand motion. These two individuals hadn't even had the chance to let out a scream before they were inexplicably taken away with their hot lunch boxes. At the same time, on the other side, Fire Princess was enjoying her meal of white rice in the blink of an eye. A large pot of rice was quickly polished off by her, leaving everyone in shock. Seeing their frightened expressions, Fire Princess quickly and awkwardly explained, Sorry, I was just too hungry. I couldn't resist eating a bit too much. I'll go find some food for you guys right away. But to everyone's surprise, Chen casually replied, No need. After you finish eating, please give us a seat. We're getting ready to have our meal. Also, let's not bother with barbecue today, Sister Jade. It's too much trouble. Just make a dozen or so of your signature dishes. Remember to pan-fry a grouper for rice. Look at Fire Princess's shocked expression on the side. Luke Chen revealed a mischievous smile. Today, he would use this meal to win over the aloof Blood Rose. The over 400 grams of gold in Apocalypse can only be used as a table prop, while a watermelon priced at 50 cents per pound can capture a girl's heart. Even more so, in order to take a bite of a sausage, one would willingly exchange their body. Just because this is a food-scarce apocalypse where countless people starve to death every day. And as the reborn Luke Chen hoarded millions of tons of supplies before the apocalypse broke out. Although he has enough food to feed 100 people for 8 lifetimes, Luke Chen is only willing to share with those who follow him, in order to make this arrogant Blood Rose submit to oneself. So he had a sudden idea and immediately ordered more than 10 dishes that Fire Princess loved in front of her. Then he called Purple Me over and gestured for her to go to the room with him to talk about something. But as soon as they entered the room, Luke Chen pinned Purple Me against the wall. Then he gazed affectionately at her and started questioning her. Is it true that Luke Chen treats you like family, providing for all your needs and taking good care of you? All of this is because you willingly follow me wholeheartedly. That's why Luke Chen treats you so well. But someone who doesn't listen to me will surely not receive the same treatment. Do you think your sister will obey me like you do? Upon hearing this, Purple Me immediately confirmed that her sister would definitely not, because her older sister has always been very opinionated since she was young. Besides, she is not familiar with you now. She definitely won't trust you. Luke Chen immediately expressed his thoughts that you think who between me and Fire Princess is more suitable to lead everyone in surviving in this apocalypse. Just as he finished speaking, Purple Me immediately, without hesitation, mentioned Luke Chen's name. Brother Luke Chen not only is brave and strategical, but also selflessly shares food with everyone. Therefore, the team leader is none other than Brother Luke Chen. This praise made Luke Chen a little embarrassed. Then he said seriously, "We must get your sister's approval first. Otherwise, it could be troublesome if Fire Princess refuses to listen to instructions during dangerous situations in the future. Therefore, before Fire Princess approves of me, I will absolutely not let her eat anything. This is also for her own good. As long as she is willing to listen to me obediently, I will naturally not treat her unfairly." Purple Me, who has been brainwashed by Luke Chen, nodded repeatedly in agreement. It is necessary for her older sister to listen to Brother Luke Chen. All of this is for the good of her older sister. At the same time, Fire Princess saw Jade Ma preparing to cook and quickly dissuaded her. Just cook 2 dishes. Also, when you cook rice, you can add more water. Do you know how precious these fresh ingredients are now? There are only 5 of us. We can't eat that much. How can we live with such waste in the future? But unexpectedly, the response to her was just one sentence. I can't make decisions on this. I will do as much as Luke Chen asks me to do. With these words, Fire Princess immediately found Luke Chen and then questioned him about why he wanted Jade Ma to make so many dishes. Isn't this way too extravagant? But Luke Chen said that this was to celebrate your reunion with Purple Me. As long as my sister Purple Me is happy, it's all good. Jade Ma quickly prepared a table full of delicious dishes. Although Fire Princess said it was too extravagant, her body was honest. As soon as she saw all these dishes that she loved, she immediately sat down at the table. However, the next second she realized something was wrong. There were obviously 5 people dining. However, only 4 bottles of mineral water were placed on the table. Just as she was puzzled by this, Luke Chen suddenly asked her weakly, "May I ask why you are sitting here?" Upon hearing this, Fire Princess quickly exclaimed in surprise, "If I'm not sitting here, where else would I sit? There are only 5 seats in total. Are you suggesting I eat standing up?" But Luke Chen immediately retorted, "Didn't you just eat earlier? Are you trying to watch us eat instead?" Fire Princess immediately became angry and said, "Didn't you say earlier that this meal was to celebrate my reunion with my sister? What are you trying to say? I'm leaving." In the apocalypse, a gold brick worth 800,000 can only be used as a table coaster. And a sausage that costs 50 cents can make a high-profile female celebrity kneel down and lick. Even worse, in order to have a bite of steamed bun, she ended up giving birth to a child for the man. But unexpectedly, with a table full of delicious dishes, he still couldn't win over the girl in front of him. This illustrates Einstein's theory of relativity. Obviously, it has little to do with this situation. Even if Luke Chen's request was just for her to call him Big Brother, Fire Princess still refused to lower her noble head. Upon hearing this, Luke Chen immediately said, "Since you don't acknowledge me, why are you still sitting here? Here, apart from you, everyone else is my people. Therefore, I am also willing to share food with everyone. Tell me if you are willing to follow me in the future." Once this is said, Purple Me took the lead in stating that I will live and die with Brother Luke Chen. Pillars on the side also express that whether it is above heaven or below the ground, I will always follow Brother Chen. As for Jade Ma, she said that from the moment you saved me, my life already belongs to you. Seeing this, Thunder King and Rice also refused to be outdone. They quickly expressed their loyalty to Luke Chen one after another. At this point, Luke Chen proudly said, "As you can see, they all belong to me, Luke Chen. If you're willing to call me brother, you can also stay and have a meal with us." Before Luke Chen could finish speaking, Fire Princess slammed the table and angrily roared, "I do not eat food from someone else's table." After saying that, Fire Princess turned around in a huff and left. Luke Chen did not say anything to stop her. Instead, he deliberately told Purple Me loudly, "Quick, try this Emperor Crab. And also, this ruby-spotted fish was specially prepared for you." Listening to these intentionally irritating words, Fire Princess got so angry that she stormed off into her own room. I thought that this would make it out of sight, out of mind. But little did I know, as soon as I pushed the door open, she saw a pair of men's shorts lying on her bed. This really got her quite angry. She quickly shouted, "Purple Me, what's going on here?" Upon hearing this, Purple Me immediately apologized and said, "I'm sorry, sister. I forgot to tell you. I've already assigned this room to my brother, Luke Chen. In the future, sister, you can sleep in my room. I have already moved your things there. Or you can go to my room to take a shower first." Later, Fire Princess cursed Luke Chen while taking a bath. "You can keep making as much trouble as you want. The refrigerator is so small anyway. It can't hold much food. When the food runs out, let's see how you can compete with me." Also, what kind of enchanted soup did Purple Me get tricked into by that guy? He even joined forces with outsiders to target me. Thinking about this, Fire Princess decided to go out and call her sister in to ask for clarification. But as soon as she walked out of the bathroom, she heard Luke Chen's voice calling everyone to eat grapes. This made her very hungry. You should know that this is her favorite fruit to eat. She hasn't had grapes since the Doomsday outbreak. Although she really wanted to eat, but for the sake of her dignity, she still forced herself to walk out of the room calmly. Then she gestured for Purple Me to come into the room to talk to her about something. At this time, Luke Chen took out a bunch of grapes and shook it. He was muttering about eating grapes without spitting out the skin. If you don't eat grapes, you spit out the skin. This angered Fire Princess, who immediately gave Luke Chen a fierce glare. She then walked into the room with Purple Me and locked the door behind them. Fire Princess turned and pushed her sister down on the bed. Then she shouted, "Quickly tell me what benefits that guy gave you. How dare you team up with him to anger your sister?" She saw that the little girl refused to speak. So Fire Princess immediately started tickling Purple Me unexpectedly after only 2.5 minutes of tickling. Purple Me then told the whole story in detail. In fact, Brother Luke Chen really wants you to join our team. But he is afraid that you won't listen. That's why he behaved that way towards you just now. He has talked to me about your matter before. Because I also think he makes a lot of sense. That's why I agreed to cooperate. Upon hearing this, Fire Princess immediately said angrily, "It's absurd. He thinks he can manipulate me with just one meal. If he openly displays enough strength in front of me, I will naturally obediently listen to him. But I just can't stand his despicable means. In that case, let's fight it out and see who will have the last laugh. If calling out, "Big brother," will get you a lifetime meal ticket, then count me in. Are you willing to call out? But this girl gave an unexpected answer. Even if this lady were to starve to death, she would never eat food attained through begging. I will now go out to search for food. After saying that, she resolutely walked out of the house, watching the departing figure of the Fire Princess. Purple Me quickly shouted, "It's getting dark soon. Sister, it's too dangerous for you to go out now." Seeing Purple Me so worried, Chen immediately ordered Rice to go out with Fire Princess. If there is any danger, they can also provide early warning in advance. Also, Thunder King, you go with him as well. Help protect Fire Princess for me, and look out for Purple Me. Upon hearing this, Purple Me immediately expresses her gratitude to Chen. I am worried about my sister going out alone. Can I go with Rice and Thunder King too? Chen did not object to this, because the zombies in the neighborhood have been basically cleaned up by them. Moreover, with Thunder King and Rice accompanying them, even if they go out at night, they won't encounter any danger. Chen wants to tease Fire Princess because he wanted to capture her attention. Because in his previous life, he was caught red-handed by Fire Princess when he was stealing vegetables at her base. And Fire Princess also fiercely kicked his butt more than 10 times. Chen, the camper, still harbored resentment about this. That's why he came up with such a plan to get back at her. But he also knows that Blood Rose Fire Princess can be tough and uncompromising. He wants to conquer this thorny rose. He must show his strength that can crush her. But just at that moment, the Fire Princess walked over with a bowl of just found Kong Shui Fu beef noodles and said, "Although it's not as delicious as your big fish and meat, being able to eat a hot bowl of instant noodles satisfies me." Chen did not pay attention to this, but instructed Jade Ma to have beef noodles for dinner tonight. The kind of beef noodles that you cannot see the noodles. This made Fire Princess quite angry. She wanted to show off in front of him, but she didn't expect to be outsmarted by this kid again. At this moment, Chen slowly walked over and said, "Fire Princess, let's have a chat. I was indeed a bit rude to you at noon. I sincerely apologize to you now." But before he could finish his sentence, Fire Princess questioned him directly. "What exactly are you trying to sell with your double-dealing tactics? Do you think you can humiliate me with those delicacies?" Upon hearing this, Chen immediately explained, "You've misunderstood. I simply want to apologize to you sincerely. Besides, until you acknowledge me as the captain, I won't share any resources with you. As a team captain, one must have both courage and strategy. Neither can be lacking. I will prove to you that I can outclass you in any aspect. How about a duel in 3 days? If you can defeat me, I, Chen, will defer to you. If not..." Before Chen could finish speaking, Fire Princess immediately said, "If not, I will listen to you in the future." But why wait for 3 days? Why not seize the day? Let's have a competition now. Upon hearing this, Chen immediately expressed his concern. "I'm afraid I may not control the force well at the moment. If I accidentally injure you, how can I face that? In another 2 or 3 days, I will be able to break through to level 4. By then, my control over ability will be more stable. Besides, don't even say you can beat me now. You wouldn't even be able to defeat Thunder King." Fire Princess immediately became angry and frustrated, saying, "I don't believe you at all. You old rascal, you're so wicked. Who do you think you're looking down on? Am I not even able to defeat a stray dog?" Chen did not argue with her about this. Instead, he casually said, "If you don't believe it, you can go and challenge Thunder King right now." But at that moment, Thunder King suddenly became alert, staring intently at every movement at the door. Immediately, a rapid knocking sound came from the door. In Apocalypse, just a bunch of grapes can be exchanged for a sack of gold. And this girl found a bowl of Kong Shifu beef noodles. I didn't expect that this would trigger a horrific and tragic murder case. It turns out it was just a moment ago. The neighbor suddenly anxiously knocked on the door of Fire Princess's house, shouting that I haven't eaten anything all day. Please share a bite of instant noodles with me. Fire Princess quickly responded upon hearing that you haven't eaten anything all day. So, that means you ate something yesterday, right? I haven't eaten for 2 days myself. Hurry, and leave me alone. Then she turned and told Purple Me never to be overly compassionate, because no matter how much you feed him, there will always be a day when he finishes eating. After finishing eating, he will still come to you asking for more. So we might as well just refuse him the first time. Little did she know that her heartless rejection caused the neighbor to harbor murderous intentions towards her. And at this moment, Rice also sensed the malice of the person outside the door. Then it immediately walked over to inform Luke Chen of the situation. At the same time, on the other side, that wicked old woman actually gathered 7 or 8 strong men. She persuaded them by saying that there was a large amount of food at Fire Princess's house. Afterwards, she aggressively brought the group to Fire Princess's house downstairs. And this scene happened to be seen by Pillars by the window. Seeing this, he immediately told Luke Chen, Brother Chen, a group of people has gathered downstairs at our place. And they are all carrying weapons. It's obvious that they are not up to any good. At this moment, Luke Chen grinned and said, Ignorant fools!